Welcome to the second part of my personal guide to Kickstarter. Like I said last time, this episode I wanted to talk a little bit more about project I personally thought did a great job in many ways to first get the attention of the backers, second worked through the whole project through the backing process that everything was clear. They tried to get every or answer every question, and even after the project ended, are still there. One thing I should mention: these examples. I have 5 examples in this case. They are mostly just my personal choice, so I'm not saying these are the best ones out there, because I can't tell which one were the best. There are so many different projects. Everyone does a little bit different, or tackles the project a little bit different, and even the backers have different ideas of what makes a great Kickstarter project and what not. I just wanted to, or let's say it this way, I have chosen these ones because they just show really good, in a good way, what I meant in my last episode. And I know some people will be a little bit surprised to know that some things I said in the last episode may not be 100% accurate for these ones, because like I said, they are all different. And even if you take all in consideration what I said last episode, that what you should do and where you can see if that's a good project or a bad project, not every you won't be able to find every single point of these specific things I mentioned in every project. It's not possible, because you will always find something that doesn't work out in this way. But like I said, I will talk about what I thought went great, what didn't went great, or I thought wasn't or could have been done a little bit better. But like I said, don't think these are in a global sense the best projects. So the first one I want to talk about was the project of Joe White. He did some years ago. He did a Kickstarter project where he wanted to create Arclight, and let's say this way, an art book with or volume 1 of his art. And if you follow me, you know this one. I have tackled this one in my art book video, where I talked why I liked this one. And I said today I want to talk about why I thought his Kickstarter project was a really great way to not only get the attention of the backers, but also how he did it throughout the project. And the first thing I really thought about when I opened that project was because people who know me know that I'm not a big fan of art books. In this case, I was interested how he was what was his vision. Let's say it this way: his vision was to create an art book with information pieces and a little bit more background information, and that was the first thing that interested me. And the second part was that he already showed a lot of his art and what he has planned for the book. So he already showed a lot of the end result in any way on his Kickstarter page. That's the first thing I have to say. That's always a great thing, if you show your backers what to do and not only talk about that. Like I said, it's not possible to always do that, but the more information you can give them, if you can show them more something, then I think more people will go if you show something that's already let's say finished in some cases. Of course, a book you can't show the finished book if you're collecting the funds to publish it in so many ways, or to print it. But you can show what your vision is, and I think he did a really great job with this one. Also, what I think was a really great move from him. He was always there. He tried to answer every question. He was always in the comment sections active, and also if you had a questions over the messaging system, he tried to answer them. And I thought he was really quick with them. I never had the feeling that it took a long time for him to answer. So yeah, it went a really great way in this case. Also, he was after the Kickstarter project ended. He was always you were always able to contact him, and even if you had problems, even after a long period of time, he answered every. At least for me, he answered every of my questions, and even after I had the problem that I didn't get my book, he was very quick to get that done. So yeah. He was always there. I never had the feeling that when everything was done, he just disappeared and had something else in mind. He was always there for his backers. He knew who the people were who made him help this or help him create this his vision in this case. Also, I liked the way he updated. He didn't update very regularly and often. But every time he had an update, there was something specific in it. And even after a long period of time, and even after the time he finished his project, there were still updates out there. Not that often anymore, even if there weren't that many to begin with, but he still brought updates and brought things and information and showed his backers what he's working on. And yeah, that's something I really find great, when the creators don't just stop doing something, but still want to show the people who helped them create something new. They don't need to do that, but it's let's say it's a great thing to do. And yeah, it's again, he did a really great job with this one. And maybe there were some points where I had to say he could have given a little bit more information, but I said, like I said, the most parts he did with pictures and not explaining, so you always knew about the add-ons, etc. That there was always something. He always tried to give it so much information as possible, so that, and on an easy way, so that everyone who backed knew what he was backing and so forth. So yeah, this is a really great example for someone who started by zero and was really working great with this one. So this is just an example for someone who just started new, so that to show you that not everyone who starts by zero is automatically someone you shouldn't trust. Like I said, trust it's a little bit difficult to see if it's someone you can trust or not. But like I said, if you're not sure, maybe start pledging low, and you will see where it's going. You normally there's the projects go through 30-day period, so you have a lot of time to get the creators known a little bit better, so you see where it's going. The second project is, okay, I'm cheating here a little bit, because I'm talking about two creators who are very similar. They bring out the similar things, and even work their projects a little bit similar. So I thought I will talk about these two specific in one part. And also I'm talking a little bit about all of their projects, because just to go about one is a little bit different, because they are making a lot of them. The two creators I want to talk about are Shirley Jackson and Kay Ryan. They create different kinds of pins. If you follow me, you have seen that I showed them in my Kickstarter unboxing videos, and I have one every in some of my videos I wear some of these pins. But for the people who haven't seen them, I'm talking about these ones. I hope you can see them down there. The Kate Ryan, then Shirley Jackson again. These two rows are again from Kate Ryan, and the upper two are from Shirley Jackson from there. Yeah, they are these two are very interesting, because, like I said, they're a little bit similar. The way they work. They don't give a lot of information on their Kickstarter page, meaning you normally have just a few paragraphs, not more. Mainly you get what their name is, some information about what they are, where the money goes, and the first design pictures from how the pins should look at the end. And that's everything. But what they bring out, they have a lot of updates. They inform you every time something changes, every time changes are happening, every time when something doesn't work out, if the manufacturers do have some problems, or you're always there to know what's going on. And the only difference I found, please don't, again, it's just my personal view, but I think Shirley Jackson is a little bit more active in the comment section, but that's the only difference I saw between these two. But you get all the information you need. To be honest, what do you want to talk about or show about the pins? You can talk a little bit more about what you have planned or something like that. But they concentrate on the more important parts, but the rest they work with the over the comments, answering your questions. And like I said, updating you with the progress, what the pins are, where the pins are, and what's happening. And again, this is a good example. If you never seen them, but check out their older Kickstarter projects. You will see that every time they created a project, they always were in time or in their release period where what they had planned. Normally, sometimes a difference between 2 to 6 weeks, but that's to expected in many cases. But you will always find people who are happy and always say they got them. I haven't seen one that said they were they thought that the received end product was bad in any way. I thought they did a great job to keep their backers happy in so many ways. And again, this is just an example for when you have someone who doesn't give you a lot of information or not much on their Kickstarter project page, but through a little bit more research, what they've done in the past, you will see that they are really trying to get everything out. They try to, let's say this way, I think Shirley Jackson said it once to me that she tries to see it like a backer. She creates these projects, but always from the view of a backer. What would if she wants to support a creation? What is it? What she wants? What she expects? Let's say it this way. So she always tries to be in time. Always tries to give the information. Always tries to give answers to questions. Always, if there's someone on the comment section, she tries to answer him. So she tries to show her patrons, her backers, that she's there for them, so that they are never feel that they are just there to support her with money, but that they are a part of the whole progress. Again, I think they do both a great job with that in small different ways, but in a similar style. Again, definitely one I would recommend to check out the way how they do it, and like I said, an interesting way to do it. And again, like I said, a little bit different than what I said in my first video. But again, you won't find a project that will have all the points I said in one big project. It's like I said, it's not possible. If you want just one thing between all of them, I will leave the links to the projects in the description below, so you can check them out and read a little bit more from the pins. I will leave just two projects from them, but if you click them, you will see that you can see all of them in this case. The next one I want to talk about is a little bit different, because here we have a project I think worked great, even if there were a lot of problems in the end. But like I said, I will talk about that in a second. I want to talk about the project Fallen Volume 2 from Ogawa Buruku. She wanted to create her second book for her webcomic, and when she did it, I can't tell what happened here, but I think she overestimated a little bit the time frame, because she said she wanted to release everything at the end of 2016, somewhere December, January. And she just finished. The first books are going out as we speak, and I know some have them already got them. And I think let's start from the beginning. This one I think worked for many different reasons. The first reason was she gave a lot of background information on her Kickstarter project page. There was she started from the beginning, the story, the characters. She gave us so many example pages, what to expect, and so many different ways she went just to show you what her vision is. It helped that she already had printed first book, and did this also over Kickstarter, and this worked out great. And but also what I think really worked out great was the way she tried to show you the different reward tiers, what to get into them, and also the different reward tiers, that you had a little bit you had some understanding what she wanted to try to give the people. I know there was at least one backer who had some problem with their tier, but she answered that backer. How this went, I don't know. If they had some conversation over over the messaging system, but she's also a creator who wants always be there for her backers. She gave many updates, and even after some complications, mainly health issues were there, she never backed down. So she always gave these informations to their backers, so that they were always on top of the information. There were always information bits on her webpage. Even if you were a patron of her, you always got first-hand information. Sometimes they were a little bit. Sometimes you got a little bit more detail on the Kickstarter, then more on Patreon, then more on her webpage. So maybe this was a little bit not the best move in hindsight, but she tried to always be honest with everyone in this case. So even with this delay of a little bit over half a year, I think in the end it worked out, because she has everything. She's trying to bring everything out. She can't. You can't blame her for health issues. I mean, everyone can. This can happen to everyone, and in personally, or a personal opinion, to be honest, is if you have health issues, they go always first. Don't try to do anything when you're sick or something, because it always goes wrong, and in the end it could happen that you can't fulfill something, and that may backfire. And also, like I said, this is a great example for being honest with your backers. Just tell them what's going on, because they wanted to support you, and if you don't be honest with them, what's the point? They will, I will say 90% of your backers will understand when there's something coming between you and the end product you want to create, and at least give them the updates, show them what's going on. And I think she did a really great job with this one, and I haven't seen a negative comment somewhere in the updates or in her comment page. I hope that's also true in the other cases that you can't see, like messaging systems. But again, I think even if this one didn't get the release date that was planned, there was nothing, like I said, nothing really bad the way she tackled it, because she was always. Again, you had always the feeling the creator was there for you, and if you wanted to contact her, there was always the way she always wanted to hear you. She was always there to answer your question, even in the situation that she, like I said, she had some health issues. Again, one way you could have gotten the information if you looked at the older her older Kickstarter project that went. In my eyes, went good. I wasn't a backer of that one. Like I said, I only joined the second time, but I knew the comic and read it through that time, so I knew what I was going into. So again, great example. for a project that, even if it failed to deliver at a specific time frame, it still worked out, because you never had the feeling that it dropped out every time. So yeah, this through that. Now the next two I will talk about are ones that aren't finished yet, and they're still nearly half a year for at least one of them till they have the first time frame. But these are two examples I want to talk about, because they have interesting ways to, let's say it this way. The first one I want to talk about is the project Pixel Princess Blitz by Lance Games. This is a more, let's say, a little bit more old school roguelike RPG game, and this one, let's say it this way. Normally, I'm not interested to back any video games anymore on Kickstarter. Sometimes I do visual novels, but I try to leave the video games out of order, because I'm a little bit burned. I had supported some projects, beginning from the one I showed you, the adventure game. I have Star Citizen and some other ones, but not one of them, except the adventure game. Not one of them I have received, and some of them are still in production. Some say we don't doing anything, but in most of these cases, they after the project ended, mostly of them tried to give updates in a specific time frame, but they didn't. Some of them went to only give updates on specific pages, never on Kickstarter, and so on. And that's the biggest problem I have with them. But in this case, why did I back it in this case? Because the first thing I saw when I saw that project was that the creators of this project they took so much energy and love just into the description. It never felt like they were only trying to get your money, but they wanted really to share your the enthusiasm for the game with you. So they did it in a comical style, and they tried to show you everything that they want to do. They were GIF animations. You had always the feeling that what you see is what they tried to create. They didn't try to create something with physical rewards, only digital rewards. So they knew that that's something they weren't able to do. And again, I think the biggest part is the way they really showed their enthusiasm through the updates. They always try to give you new information when something happened, and always in this like I said, in this way that they integrated some artwork, some small comic strips, and all these kind of things. So you never had the feeling this is just something they threw together. It's always they put something new. It always, every update you had something new. And the next thing that really worked out was they were always there for you, and even after the project ended, which is some months ago now, they are still very active. If you have a question, if you comment something, they are always there. The only thing that I personally don't like, but that's just a personal thing, so don't think that's that they're doing something wrong, because the Kickstarter update system is, let's say it this way, not very good. You can post something, but you can't change it after some minutes. They went to Tumblr, and I don't use Tumblr. I don't go there. That's the reason. They only do sometimes small updates with the links to Tumblr or Facebook or something like that. So for people who don't use these sites, I think it's a little bit problematic to get the new updates. But at least when I said that, at least they try to give me a way to read them. So they are always they want their backers to be updated, and this is something, like I said, if you have a creator who wants the backers to get every piece of information, that's something I always honor in so many ways, because you can see that they not only want to create their vision, but they want you to be part of it. They know they couldn't have done it without the backers, and they want them to be part in the whole process in so many ways. Again, they try everything. It's like I said, they do a really great job, and in this case, I have to say again, the game looks very interesting, and I would recommend checking it out. I will do I will do a little bit more in-depth look at this one in some weeks, but again, a very interesting way to show it everything, and interesting way to or let's say great way to update your backers, and in this case again, I can't say anything bad about this one. Maybe people think that some systems don't work or something like that, but again, they have an ear to if you have a problem with it, just ask. They are there for you, and that's, like I said, that's always something that should be done. The last one I want to talk about is also a game, but a card game. Something I started last year, checking out some of these card games, because I'm a card game enthusiast and sometimes I look a little bit more. This one got me from the design alone. I was interested, and this is a great case. Let's say it this way, it's a little bit like the Pixel Princess Blitz. We're talking about Daimyos Fall by Access Mundi. The way they showed everything, the way they showed the artwork, really beautiful artworks, and their visions, you always had the feeling there's a lot of enthusiasm behind them. They stand behind what they're doing. They love doing this one. Every time they bring an update, they answer your questions over the comment function. They're always there for you. But this is this is an example I have chosen not because they do the same like said Pixel Princess Blitz by Lance Games, but they have something else, and that's something I also find absolutely fantastic if a creator does that. They want to create a card game. And when you create a card game or a board game, there's not many ways you can show your backers how it works. So why not give them a prototype? I know many creators from card games sell their prototypes. I know what they think about it, but I think that's wrong. I think giving a prototype to the backers that they know what to expect, give them the possibility to check the game out, because not everyone wants to see great artwork or something like that. They want to know how the game works. And in this case, they gave not only one but two possibilities to check that game out. Once you had the possibility to print the cards and the rule book out, so you had every time the possibility to check the game, to play the game. You had three options. The second option was you had videos where you could watch people playing the game to see how it works, and there was also the version that you had the possibility to add it to this the tabletop simulator and play it digital. So this is a way, in my eyes, that's always great, showing people that it's not just pictures you have, but you also have an idea, you also have a structure behind the game. You know what you want to do. It's not just some cards in a box, but you have already done a lot of work on the rules, even if you may change the rules over time, but you can show your backers, see, we have already something, check it out. If you're interested, try the demo, play it, and if you're still interested in it, then please back our project. Again, a great way to introduce you to your backers and show them what you want to do, and even better, you share your vision with them, because they are able to see what you're doing. Not only read what you're doing, but they are able to interact what you have planned. Again, this is not something you can do with every kind of project. Again, you can create, if you have a video game, you can create a demo. But from a real life card game or something like that, this is a great way to do that. Just to give your backers the idea what you want to do. Again, these are just examples, and I'm just concentrating on concentrating on specific parts of these projects. But so you can see what you can look out, and where you can maybe check out what specific projects maybe miss, or what will work, what will don't work, where you can look out if a project may or may not be something serious or just a cash grab. But again, I think these these creators specifically did a great job. Again, I have a lot of other creators. But this was just some specific examples after thinking about it that just came to mind when I created this small extra list. Again, next time we will talk about the bad ones, and I will tell you this one. There will be one that saddens me a little bit to put on that list. One, I have to say, deserves to be on this list, and two that will be let's say very, very bad what happened there. But again, this is for next time, and yeah, thanks for watching. I hope I could give you some insight in some of these projects. Like I said, I will leave the links down below so you can check them out, and yeah, hope to see you in part 3 in the next video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.